Alright y'all, Hood Handyman here, back with another one. I got a Roper dryer by Whirlpool that's not heating. I have no idea why. None. But we're gonna figure it out together. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to test some stuff. I'm gonna take some resistance. I'm gonna take a couple resistance readings and test some things out and just try to figure out why it's not heating. It would heat intermittently, and also sometimes my timer was a little off sometimes. So I set it to a specific time and it would run a little bit longer or some things like that. But it's still working. So later on down the road, I started having trouble with the heat. Right? So we're going to try to figure it out. So after we get closer to where we need to be, I'll get the camera a little closer. Right now I got to get all these bolts out. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get an ohm reading. I'm going to get an ohm reading of this electronic right here and see if it's bad. So I'm going to test the ohms here, see if it's bad. Testing this part right here. I'm getting continuity. So it's not that. Because that would have been probably the easiest part it is to replace right here. So if that's not bad, then I could be in for it here. Alright YouTube. I've checked the continuity and everything, all the way at the bottom, all the way up to the top. You know, the fuses, the limit switches, if you will, and all my continuity beat. So that means all the circuits are pretty much closed, and my thinking is the only way it would be open is if it would break. If something went wrong, it would open up, but everything's closed. So we do have some open connections in here, starting at the timer. So everything will be open, and the timer will turn different things on. But I'm just talking about just testing the individual switch or fuse itself. You know, like for instance, over here is going to be the button. So you know when you push the button, it's going to close, right? So I got the voltmeter here, and when you push the button, it's going to close the circuit. I'm going to try to push this button here while I got a lead up here. See, now I push the button. When I let go of the button, the circuit opens. When I push it, the circuit closes. So that's about the most simple switch that you can find. All right. If we go down here to some of these other switches here, let's say we have this one right here. This is a heat limit switch, I believe. I'm gonna assume this is normally closed, and it's going to make a continuing the circuit's going to be continued until something goes wrong, and then it opens up and shuts this thing off. So this one's working fine. I hope y'all can see that. So that one's working fine. And then I just went straight to the rest of them, and I started working on those. So I'm going to go down here and show you what I did with this one. But the moral of the story is I went straight down to the heater itself, and I tested it, and it was closed. It beeped. So the most expensive part in this whole thing is either going to be the clock or it's going to be the heater. And the heater is closed, so it's not open. So I'll show you. And go down here. And I did this with both of these leads off, but see that beep right there? That means that the windings and the heating element are closed. So if they were open, that means the winding would be broken and you need a new heating element. And over here at this fuse, I touch these two together. I mean, I'll pull them off so I can show you. It's really not necessary, but if I pull them off and get them and mix them up, then I'm gonna have a serious problem. So just take my word for it. I took it off and I still got the same continuity. And then we have another switch here, closed, and that switch there, once this checks out and gets through this fuse that's going to cut the power, this fuse is going to travel through this switch here, which is going to blow the hot heat out, and there's going to be it's going to check to see if it's overheating. If it's overheating, it'll open and break the circuit, and then after it leaves this fuse, then it's going to travel over to the heating element, and then one leg of the heating element is going to feed this fuse, and the other leg is going to feed the heating element. So it's two on the heating element, and then the other side is going to feed the fuse back. So when this checks out, it says, okay, I'm going to turn you on. I'm going to feed, the power's coming in here. One leg of this switch is also on the other leg of this heating element. You understand what I'm saying? So here, see that? One leg of this heating element is attached to this limit switch, and if this limit switch opens, this other leg of the heating element is gonna shut off because it's opened. And I'm glad these aren't closed switches, because if they were closed switches, if they were already open switches, then I would troubleshoot it the same way. But I understand that this is not on right now, so it's not going to have a sequence of operation. The only sequence of operation it's going to have is going to send a signal to say whether it's going to turn the heat on or turn it off, and the timer is going to do what it do. So that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead and buy a timer, because that's what I feel that the problem is. And the timer's up here. And I'm pretty sure something's wrong with it, because it was acting kind of quirky. When I would run this thing, sometimes it would run longer than it's supposed to. So we'll go past the time that it was supposed to run, and I would have to I'd have to open the dryer, and it already passed its cycle. So that means that the contacts in this thing were not doing what it was doing. It was touching and wasn't shutting off. So we're gonna go ahead, and now it all makes sense, because I just wanted to troubleshoot the rest of this to make sure that that's what the problem was before I ordered it. So we're gonna get a new timer. Alright y'all, I finally got my dryer part in the mail. You can see that. And take it out the box. And I'm just showing it to you from this side of this angle. This is the part here, and I got it from Amazon, and they say it's a match, so I'm gonna go with that and see what happens. But first, I'm gonna take the dial off and see. Pop the dial off. Carefully pop the dial off and see. Dial off without breaking it. Okay. Alright, there's the dial. I got it off. And I gotta remember where it's set to. So it's set to right here. So I put a little mark right there. It might not really matter where it's set to because the old one wasn't working. But I'll set it right here where the flat side was, about this angle right here. This is the part that I have already in there. This is the part that I already have in there, and this is the part that I was sent. If you notice up at the top of the original part, there's 3 prongs at the top. This one doesn't have the 3 prongs. You notice I have prongs at the bottom for the plugs. And I have this plug right here, but the three prongs at the top, this one, and this one, I don't have. But they weren't being used anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with what they have and plug it up and see what we got. Alright, I'll try to take this old module off and put this new module in. I believe it's got a clip up here. Take this off. I haven't unplugged nothing yet because I want to make sure that this is going to work out the way I need it to work out. First I got to get this clip off. It don't want to work with me. Just like the little knob I was able to get off. Let's see about this here. Kind of a stubborn clip right here. Let's see. This light's supposed to have a magnet on it, but Harbor Freight, that magnet ain't the greatest magnet in the world. I guess they give you the magnet and think you make you feel good about yourself, but it don't want to hold nothing. Alright, so I'm gonna try to. I need some new batteries with one or the other. There we go. Alright, let's see here. Hope you able to see that. These clips don't want to let go of this module here. I guess that's the only thing clipping it up there, only holding it up there. A little screw here, let's see what that does. Alright, the screw came out. Let's see if I can pull this little module out. That screw might have been for this little timer on the back, so it still ain't out the woods yet. I might as well put that back because because that didn't get it off. So, yeah. I'll put it to the side for now, because the whole thing got to come out anyway. Alright, so I had to use a pair of needle nose to get the top clip off. You got to squeeze it together, because that's part of a whole. That metal piece doesn't come with this whole situation. Right here, that metal piece, it just disconnects the timer from the dryer. So I'm gonna just pull these plugs, because that's the only way I'm gonna get the bottom clip out, if I can still get it out doing that. I don't have needle nose pliers small enough. When I take one off and then put it on, that way we don't get confused, right? So I'll put this up here, then I'll take the bottom one off. If it even wants to come off. Alright. That plugs off. I'm going to plug it right in so I won't be confused putting it back in. Y'all can't see, I'm just plugging it in and just pushing it down. And I've just got two more to hook up. I got this one right here. Let's see, and this one's got the same old funny plug. I just stick my screwdriver under there, pull that out, put this in there. And then you got the one at the bottom, I guess that's a ground. I'll reach under there and grab that one. I mean, this took the timer off, the control off, but I'm just taking things off one at a time right now. So when it's up there, I ain't got to worry about it no more. So I guess this is the ground plate. And that one on the bottom. Leaving those pliers are kind of see if I can grab it from this side. Can flip the dryer up, but that's not going to help me in this situation. Once I get this plug off, then I can get in there. Alright, so this clip right here ain't gonna be the easiest clip to get to. I just had to, because of the angle of this clip, this bottom clip. If you ever been here before, because I don't have those pliers that bend upward and got different angle pliers, so I'm just trying to get this thing off the best way I can. I think the way they designed it with this clip was just stupid to put a clip down here that you can't get to. Just to release this thing. There it is. It's hell to get that clip off. I'm just going to let y'all know. That clip is hell to get off. I'm just going to let y'all know right now. Alright, so that's that. It'll take you longer to get the clip off than it is to put this thing on here. As you got the clip off, getting at. Alright y'all, sometimes that clip at the bottom was hard to get off right here. So it's a bad angle. So I had to just manhandle it to get it off with a screwdriver without breaking it. Somehow I didn't break it. Now you just put the old timer back in and just snap it in place, and that should be it. I tried to lift the hood up. I tried to do all kind of stuff to get this clip to go back in there, but it didn't want to work for me. So, but you need that clip so when you push the button, you don't push the whole timer out. So try not to break it, but if you break it, hey, I get it. So I'm gonna try to squeeze the clip together. First it don't want to come apart, now it don't want to squeeze right together. So I had to squeeze it to get it to push in. And the bottom one, alright, there it is. That thing should stay in there forever. Alright, so that's the timer going back in. I already plugged everything back in. I had to take this hood off. Hopefully I can get all the screws back in it. Alright, let's move on to the next part. Alright y'all. Good Handyman. Dryer's working. I touched the vent. It's hot. I touched the front of it. Let's open it up and see. There we go. Oh yeah, it's hot in here. It's hot in here. So it's working. And I touched the vent, it's hot. So it was a success. Like this video, please share it. It's Hood Handyman. Another video, how to fix the timer, heating element timer, and a Roper dryer. Whirlpool Roper dryer. Thanks for watching. Alright, so for the bonus tip on this, just make sure that when you change your timer and your dryer, just make sure that when you test everything out, all the switches should be normally closed, and then this timer sends the signal wherever it needs to go, whether it's high heat, low heat, dry, whatever. It'll send it to where the normally closed wires will be, or excuse me, the normally closed contacts will be, which I showed you earlier in the video. And basically, you know, just test them, make sure you're getting continuity. If you're getting continuity to all those components, then it's more likely to be this. And just look it up online, match it up. You know, there's plenty of cross matches. I got this one from Amazon.com. You can go on eBay, but it doesn't really show you all the numbers for different ones. And be careful of this little clip right here, because that's hard to get the clip out. And that's pretty much it. It's Hood Handyman. Thanks for watching.